Howdy, partners! Welcome to the Haunted Chronicles, episode 117. Our guest tonight is a paranormal researcher, author, and investigator that flew in from Belfast, Ireland, to be here with us tonight. Sharon Clarke, who's been called the songbird of her generation, is in the Haunted Chronicles green room watching Step Brothers and will join us momentarily. In kind of paranormal news, the singer Meatloaf, who's appeared in the movies Tales from the Crypt, The Outer Limits, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show, collapsed on stage last night, but his two previous concerts were uneventful, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad. No, seriously, we hope you get better. We hope you get better, Meatloaf.
That was so wrong. So
wrong. Sorry. Tonight's sponsor is Rolo. Chewy caramel with real milk chocolate, all rolled together. Rolo. You can roll a Rolo to your friend. It's chocolate-covered caramel from end to end. That's Rolo. I am Mr. Haunted, along with the baby-faced assassin Brock Burrows and the Jennifer Crystal-voiced Runyon.
Hello. Oh,
Fellas?
don't I? Hey.
Hello.
This is all so new for me tonight because I am on Skype. And the guys are saying that I sound weird. So, no, wait. You didn't say I sound weird. What did you say?
No, it sounds really clear.
It sounds really clear. Gosh. I didn't know I sounded this clear. This is great.
Wow. I want to sound that clear.
It sounds like Pornhub. I'm only joking.
What a week, fellas.
Yes, it's been crazy.
Oh my gosh. It has been the weirdest week.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, give us a sentence. Give us a sentence about your week.
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
Having to block a crazy. Had a crazy this week. Re-injured my knee.
I'm not crazy.
Brock, I've warned you. No, it's all good. It was just been like one thing after another, like odd things, that you're just like, okay, now what do we do with this? Okay, let's move on. It's just one thing after another. Crazy.
Yep. And I keep looking at the moon, and I said, it must be a full moon every time stuff like that happens. And it's coming. Brock, did you go to your
moon?
House Saturday?
You have a moon?
Yeah.
Did I go what?
Did you go to your house Saturday last week?
My house.
The haunted house.
The investigation, the private residence. Yeah. It was interesting. I'm starting to review audio now, and there was one where we were coming out of one of the rooms, and I was shutting the door, and I said, I was just tagging myself because I was making noise. I said, Brock, shutting the door, and you hear right after that, turn around.
Oh my God.
And I didn't hear it at the time. And it was clear as day on the audio on the recorder. So I'm hoping everyone else hears it and it's just not me.
Yeah.
But we're going through right now, and so far within about an hour I've had about 6 clips I want to listen to a little closer. And we got about 13 hours on each. I have 2 recorders with 13 hours of audio on it. And then I have 1 recorder with 8 hours of audio on it.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's going to take some time. And, next week's a short week because next Saturday, a week from Saturday, I head to the beach.
Ooh.
You can eat your crab leg.
So I will join the show. I'll be on a show, on this show, the Friday before we come back from the beach, too. So you'll get a Haunted Chronicles with Brock on location at beach.
Good. We'll have to interview some beachgoers.
Yeah.
Some crab legs and some stuff like that, yeah.
I went.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say, what about you, Jimmy?
Well, Victor and Linda just texted me and said they're listening by their phone.
Uh-huh.
So, hello. They came to visit last weekend, and we went to visit Annabelle.
Wow.
Saturday night.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I took him on a little mini tour around here. So I went out.
I want to go see
God.
Annabelle.
How do you like them apples?
That's
I'll
awesome.
pick Jennifer
Jim.
up. We'll come see Annabelle.
Yeah.
And before I forget, happy birthday to my radio hero, Art Bell, who's 71, I think.
Happy birthday, Art.
Happy birthday, Art.
Happy birthday.
And the only time I ever called Art Bell, I got through first shot and I quit because I said I want to leave it 100%.
There you go.
Well,
So how are you doing, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Well-
How are you, Jimmy?
I'm happier than the Panamanian owl monkey, also referred to as a night monkey, eating a bowl of Cocoa Puffs in the woodlands by the light of a small lantern.
Oh.
Okay.
That's really happy.
And
That's a
They-
great image. Yeah.
thank you. They do exist, and they're the only nocturnal monkeys. You learn something every new each week here.
Yeah.
And I bought a lantern this week at work just because I always wanted to carry around a lantern and creep around.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it the last couple nights when I get up for work early. I creep around with my lantern and I go outside. Yeah.
I have one too.
In order, Jimmy.
I have it down with me right now, and it's like, I don't know why I want one, but I want to creep around with a lantern. And you know what? We're gonna bring in our guest right now because she's itching to do celebrity birthdays.
Yeah.
She's founder of Pacem Paranormal Research Team and has just released a book, Voice in the Night. And she, oops, I said it wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, what's the name, Sharon?
Voice in the dark.
Voice in the Dark. Her
Shark
follow-up book is Voice in the Night, but her new book is Voice in the Dark. And she studied anthropology and psychiatric nursing all the way from Belfast, Ireland. Sharon Clarke.
Yay.
Welcome.
Hi.
Sharon, and I would like you to call me Nighthawk, please.
No, that is not happening. Okay, well, you can call me Lady Bolton.
I'll call you
That,
Dragon.
yeah, nobody gets that unless you're watching Game of Thrones.
Yes. True. True that.
Do you watch that, Heather?
Oh, Jennifer. No, I don't. That's okay, babe. I watched like the first 6 episodes and I absolutely loved it. And then when you're just like life got busy and now it's so intimidated to head back to it because there's so many seasons now. So shame on me.
Yeah. No, you see, I thought the first 4 seasons were kind of, oh God, I'm going to get lynched. But I thought they were kind of slow, and there was too many people, and it was kind of, And then it just kicked off in season 5, and it's just got so good, and so it's absolutely brilliant now. Season 6, it's just manic. It's like, we had the boobs, and we had the sex, and we had the violence, but now there's an actual story to it all, and it's just it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the bad guy's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Wow. And we also want to wish a happy birthday to Peter Dinklage last week from Game of Thrones.
That's right.
Okay, Sharon.
42.
Was he?
Shoot. I don't remember. I'm just guessing.
Okay, before we have a bunch of questions for you, we have some scary movie celebrity birthdays. We have 3. These are people celebrating birthdays next week, and you guess how old they are. Our first one is
God.
Robin Tunney. She was in The End of Days, Twilight Zone, Shadow of Fear, and was the good witch Sarah Bailey in the movie The Craft. So Sarah,
she was the girl from End of Days.
That's what I wrote down. I don't know.
Right. So I have to guess her age. Oh my God. 40.
Okay, she said 44. What do you guys say?
Oh, I don't even know who this is. So I'm just going to say, let's say 42.
The way Jimmy said that, I'm going to say 44.
Correct, 44.
Is she that old? Because End of Days must be quite old now.
And Juliette Lewis, who is in Natural Born Killers, From Dusk Till Dawn, Cape Fear, and My Stepmother is an Alien.
Right.
Yeah, I like her.
Mhm.
43. No, wait a minute. 47.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go 46.
48.
Okay.
Well, Juliette Lewis, according to my records, will be 43.
Oh,
wow.
she's not
Holy-
listening in anymore.
No, she
She's
doesn't
going to
listen
be
anymore.
mad.
She's not listening
Yeah.
anymore, anyway.
Not after we dug her down
Hey,
to 47.
And I think she tuned out after the monkey episode.
I think she did too.
And we have one more.
Yes.
Paul McCartney, who's a singer-songwriter. He's a flippin' Beatle. Okay. His music
110.
has been used in the films Super 8, True Blood, The Lovely Bones, Roswell, Ghost Town, Helter Skelter, and most importantly, he made an appearance in the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. How old's Paul McCartney?
Here's the story of a lovely lady.
A lovely lady.
Who was bringing
What the hell? Was
We do that here.
Here, no, there's a mad conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney actually died about 30 years ago and they replaced him
Yes, I heard this.
with a clone.
What do you think of that?
And I'm not making this up, okay?
I read that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that too. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think he's about 71.
I'll say 72.
75.
He'll be 74.
Whoa.
And they found a really talented guy to replace him, though.
Yeah, they sure did.
I hate the Beatles. Oh.
What?
Sorry.
Oh
I know
no.
I'm lynched. I really don't like their music. I don't know them personally, but I just find them really, really dull.
They're nice personally, and Ringo listens every week. So.
I'm sure they're a really nice bunch of guys, but God, their music's so overrated.
Okay, Dave, we're gonna have to switch our halftime song. Okay, just kidding.
I'm not getting invited on again.
Oh, someone's at the door.
Oh, who's there?
So,
Don't know.
Yeah.
all
We're looking for
scars.
Jimmy.
I don't want to. The first question, Sharon, could you tell us about your new book that's not called Voices in the Night at all?
I can't even remember what it's called now because of you. Voice in the Dark. Yeah, it's a paranormal book. And, well, I say book, it's more of a collection of madness, and it's like a collage of cases and pictures, and it centers on Northern Ireland, and I have works of fiction thrown in there. I have interviews with prominent paranormal figures globally, and yeah, it's madness, but it's interesting, I hope.
And we are sharing your Facebook link in the chat. And for people not in chat or listening to replay, how can they find your page to get the book or
Oh
check it
yeah. Because we're also collaborating with a company in Texas as well, a film company. We're doing a movie. I'm in the middle of developing the website. So at the minute, Voice in the Dark has a Facebook page, and then I'm on Twitter. But the website will be up and running like very, very soon, so people can link on. You can get it on Amazon and ebooks and Kindle and all, the usual outlets. But when the website's up and running, you can click there, and it's going to be much more accessible. But I wanted to incorporate the sort of the filming side of things as well as the writing side of things.
And what are you filming?
Okay, well, in the book, we used like a photo shoot I did with a guy from Dublin, and it was like images of just weird things, and one of them was the front cover of the book is like a person, a person being me in a sort of like a bunny mask pointing a gun, and
Ooh.
through a door. So it's a very striking image. So this guy gets in touch with me and he said, I really like that image. Could we maybe use it in a film trailer? We're making this movie, and I was sure, yeah. But then he said, why, we got talking, and I said, we had the capability of filming some shots for him. So he said, right, how about you guys in Belfast, you guys film Psycho Bunny, as I call it. You film some of the stuff that Psycho Bunny would be doing. And we're going to film some stuff in Texas, and we'll get it together and we'll edit it. So it was exciting. So we're doing that, we did that. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a short myself. And there's another girl. We thought, why not? We'll make a short about Psycho Bunny, and he's sort of the epiphany, sort of like the element of fear. So that's what he portrays, and it's very gritty, very disturbing. There's no dialogue, and it sort of developed from there. And then we planned to do a lot more from works of fiction I've written. So yeah, it's like turned from one thing to another to another to another. So it's fun.
Because all the bunnies I've ever seen are so cute and cuddly.
Oh hell no! This one
And
will rip your freaking
I've
soul.
I've seen pictures and I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, so it's hard in the film. It's like I say he, but it's actually me. But the portrayal of the bunny is bad. It's absolutely wicked. The things that it does is just horrendous. But there's an allurement to that. Some people are quite taken in. So it sort of shows that there are people who are very much taken in by badness and evil and enjoy it. So we have this like symbol of evil, but it also shows the human side of that the people are drawn. Some people are drawn to that, where most people will be repulsed by what they see. There's other people who will take part in what Psycho Bunny's at and help. So it shows that side of human nature, that there's a lot of bad that's within people too.
So bless the little Psycho Bunny's heart. Bless his little heart.
I love Psycho Bunny. Hell, I get to dress up and climb bridges and stand on babies' dolls' heads, and I get to do mad shit. It's a living.
Sure. I want to get to one ghost story. You're not only an author and an actress now, but you also investigated a lot of supposedly haunted places. And
Yes.
I'm sharing a picture in the chat that we talked about earlier, and it's the one I'm posting it right now. Forgive me for a second. It's the one with an image like at the bottom of the stairs. Can you tell us
Yes.
where that was taken and the circumstances or what was going on? Or?
Yeah, sure. Now, I have been involved in the paranormal a long 20 years plus, and I would say there's only been a handful of cases where I would genuinely say I've had an experience. I came into it quite open-minded, and I wanted a scientific, objective point of view, because if you're going to promote something like parapsychology, not everything is going to be ghostly. Not everything is going to be a haunting. But this particular case is right up there, and I put it. I put the whole story in the book, and I went in, and this lady phoned me, and she said, I've got this house, and she started to tell me things that were going on. Her child was pinned to the bed and couldn't move, and I thought, okay, she has watched some horror film, and has went overboard. Her imagination has gone into overdrive, because with my mental health background, I would do an assessment on people first, and then I wouldn't just dive straight in. Sort of get to know the people and get to know their background to see, because there's a lot of crackpots out there who get us out just for varied reasons that aren't maybe paranormal. But this particular lady was very upset, and I thought, I'm going to have a look at her house, and I took a colleague. And she was that frightened. She wasn't in the house. She'd left the key, and we took the key. We went in, and that house was so active. It was very unnerving. We did it. We went through the house downstairs. Locked the doors, make sure nobody was in, because there's more. The hauntings aren't the worry. It's humans lurking about that sometimes are worrisome. So we made sure nobody was there, and we went round the bottom. It was 3 floors to the house, and we could hear like this knocking, but it wasn't even subtle. It was like a banging upstairs, and she looked at me, and I looked at her, and people have this thing that paranormal investigators are badass. No, we were like, what the? I'm not going up there. It was one of those moments of holy shit, what is that noise? Because there was nobody up there, and it just felt like there was something not right up there, that it wasn't a human bang. So anyway, just cut a long story short, we went up the stairs, and the child's rocking horse was going, and it was like, oh, okay, right, the horse is going. We can't explain that one. We'll see what happens. So I had my video, I had the camera up, and it was filming like running water going down the walls. And I was just looking, and I was showing it to her, and I was like, I can't film this. And she got out hers, and it was the same thing. The photos I took, there was blood stains on the carpet when I took the photographs, but there wasn't blood stains when we were in the house. And the woman of the house was, oh my God, that's a new carpet. Why is this appearing in the photographs? And then I went to the toilet at one point, and the door slammed deliberately, very, very deliberately behind me. And I had some, the worst was we heard scraping when we were upstairs, and we'd come down and the sofa had moved, and it was, she had a team out who left, and they had left blank paper and a planchette on.
Oh no!
Yeah, but it wasn't you.
Betsy. Okay.
No, everybody calm down. Nobody was using anything. It wasn't dabbling.
No, I'm just saying, what happened? What happened?
Put the rosary beads away and chill. Right. So anyway, I'm standing in the dining room, and I see this paper, and I see this planchette with a pencil in it, and there's nothing on it. And I feel intimidated in this house. I feel, and I take out this prayer. And it's it's like to Archangel Michael, so I always carry it with me, because it's just like a safety net. And I was like reading this prayer, and I was like, please, this is just such an oppressive house. It's horrific. It's one of the worst I've been in, and then we left. And the next day, the lady of the house, she had come back to get clothes during the day for her children and a change of clothes for herself. And she messaged me, and she said, Sharon, why did any of you guys write on the paper? And I was like, no, God, no, we did not tamper with that. And there was actually drawings on the paper when we left. So who drew on the paper, I have no idea. I could think that it was me reciting that prayer, agitated, whatever was in the house. So I knew she wasn't exaggerating then, because the children were communicating with something, and it was getting to the point where one of her neighbours, she asked one of her neighbours, this big, strong guy, to go up the stairs, and he was nothing to do with paranormal, didn't believe it. And she asked him to go to the top of the house to collect something, and he said, yeah, no problem. And he after he left the house, he says, I will never set foot in that house again. He came down the stairs, and he said it was like something was following, and the lights blew on each step as he went down. And in the end, I got a guy out. I did the initial, walk around, but I would not take part in any clearances or anything further, because I was pregnant, and I just thought, this is not a typical act of, this is something more to this. This is really, really bad. This is evil. So I said to the guy, I said, listen, you do what you do, and keep in touch with me via phone, but I'm not getting involved any further in that sense, because once you try to kick something like that out, you're going to have to be well prepared. And he said, yeah, I can understand, you're pregnant. So that was fine. I was lying in bed on the phone, and I closed my eyes, and I opened my eyes, and there was something in my room, and I just saw it, and it was like really, really, really scary. And I thought, yeah. I just, that when you try to convince yourself that, you saw something, but it's not there. So I closed my eyes, and I went, yeah, there's nothing there. Go back to sleep. And I opened them, and it was still there. And I was like, shit. So
oh my God.
I didn't at that point. I can still remember the feeling. I thought I wasn't afraid. I actually got angry because I have kids in the house and nothing ever comes back with me to my home. Nothing. So I was really, really, really pissed at this point. So I got up and I, said a lot of prayers, a lot of clearing, and it nothing happened. There was no dramatic story. I went to sleep, everything was fine. But the story then, she had went back after the clearance and things seemed to have calmed down, and then it started up again, and there was like little tiny handprints in the mirror upside down, like something from the other side of the mirror. And there was so much went on in that house, and there were so many witnesses to that I had to document it, and it's just one that stuck with me, that it sort of made me sort of realize that the things previous were, maybe residual, maybe energy, but this was something that was intelligent, that was evil, that definitely wanted to intimidate me. The photograph taken down the hall. I don't really care, when people debunk stuff and they say, "Oh, that's photoshopped. Oh, you're making." I don't give a shit what they think, because all I'm doing is giving my experience, my opinion. If people don't want to accept that, that's cool, that's fine. But, I'm only relaying what we do in our field, and there's no point to lie. I'm not in to lie, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of fakery goes on, there's a lot of sensationalism. That's fair enough, let them get on with it. But we're trying to actually promote a science to this field, to try and prove, look, death is not the end, and there are things that are, out there that's not black and white. So when you lie or you fake, you become part of the other side that nobody's going to believe you. So that photo, there was nobody down the hall. And going over the footage, the EVPs, one of them clearly said mum, or as you Americans would say mom, but over here it's mum, and it was like really sly, sneaky voice, and it, it was just like mocking me, and I was pregnant, and it was horrible. And then we got another EVP, and it said, I can't now going over them. It wasn't like a human voice. It was something very, very dark. But that was a cool. No, it's not cool, but it was a very definitive story and proof for me personally.
That's
it was
good.
awakening.
That's a perfect way to go to break. We'll be right back with more Haunted Chronicles. Welcome back to the Haunted Chronicles. We're talking to Sharon Clarke, author of the new book, Voice in the Dark. That rhymed. Did you hear that? I want to thank everyone for sharing tonight's show page. I probably forgot some people because Facebook is a pain in the neck. Thank you, Eric, Frankie, Maggie, Laura, Candy, Russell, Randy, Brian, Brock, Kimberly, Valerie, Rick, Jennifer, Debbie, Corey, Damien, Colin, Howard, Christine, Sunny, Kevin, David, Patricia, Cindy, Junebug, Nicholas, Mark, Linda, Christy, Tiffany, and the groups that shared our page: Electric City Paranormal, Ghosts and All Things Paranormal, Big Bear Ghost Seekers, On the Fringe, Best Paranormal Radio and Podcasts, Edge of Fear, Realm of the Unknown, Paranormal Cat, Pacem Paranormal, and Paramania Radio, and Appalachian UFO Research Society. How about that, fellas?
Come on for air.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Jim.
Brave.
And Travelways.
And by Travelways luggage. That's Travelways. Sharon, we heard about the house, and we're not mentioning any names, but there's this old mental hospital. Do you have any stories about that sort of thing?
We're not don't mention any names.
No.
No, I'm only joking. We would never endorse going anywhere without permission.
Well, we all have it at some point.
Sometimes your dog gets lost, or sometimes you find yourself
Oh,
walking in the field and you find a mental hospital, just by chance.
Right.
yeah,
Anyway,
Stumble
yeah.
across.
this thing was just there. I didn't fall through the door. Anyway, ended up in this place was brilliant. I love a mental hospital because that sounds so horrible and morbid, doesn't it? I do love a mental hospital. Which is a bloody good job. I'm not going back to do mental health nursing after coming off of that statement as well, because I don't think anybody's ever going to employ me ever again. They probably see me as a potential patient. But yeah, no, working in mental hospitals is also very weird because you do get people where when I was start at the beginning when I was studying for psychiatric nursing. My dissertation was mental health versus or possession versus schizophrenia. So I thought,
Mhm.
is there such a thing as possession? And why do people say, oh, they suddenly started talking Latin or Hebrew or blah blah blah, or there's a lot of cases that people brought that say, okay, it's not schizophrenia because how is this person suddenly talking a different language? But then you can medically say people, have blows to the head or come out of a coma talking fluent French. So you don't know. So I decided I'd study. Do I hear a dog?
Yeah, that's mine. That would be mine in the background.
Oh,
So
thank
we're gonna
God.
pretend Nova's not there. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm really starting to think something my house is there already again. No. So yeah, so I thought, we'll have a look at the whole area of possession, and then it went on from there. And we used to have patients in who said, they had demonic encounters and things like that. And there's some cases that you possibly could be attributed to maybe not medical conditions, let's put it that way. And I've had people say weird things, do weird things, and I've written about it in the book. Where there's been a case where a victim has not a victim, I shouldn't say. Well, they're not a victim; they're a scumbag. It was a paedophile, and I was in a placement, and I refused to work with him because you're supposed to, when you're in mental health, work with everybody. I won't work with that's no, because my rehabilitation would be just to shoot them all. So apparently that's not acceptable in nursing. You have to nurse them and not shoot them. But pedophiles are scum. But this one particular person had turned to me and I had no badge on. I was in a strange place, and they knew my name. They knew stuff about me, and they were like talking in the third person and saying, we want to talk to you. We're inside. And it was creepy. It really creeped me out because I'm a logical person at work. I was a logical person. It's really hard to deal with that kind of thing when you're sort of thinking how is this possible, or what is this thing? Because this person was a thing, and I wrote about it, and it's a long story and it's a big background to it. But yeah, so mental hospitals, old ones, they hold a lot of energies and memories and walls of memories, and you go in and you can. It's they're places of suffering. In the past, they weren't the nice group therapy, flowers on the wall, let's sit around and talk about our problems type of places. They used archaic methods to try and rehabilitate people with mental illnesses, and it was barbaric what they did to these people. So it makes sense that if you're going to go somewhere where there's energies that contain suffering, and that this is the kind of place you go to. So this place we went to, I have photographs of
I'm
I always take a before and I take an after and I take an in between. I take so many pictures of the same area so that if you do capture something, then you can go and compare to the 1 second delay, so that somebody can't say, oh, it's just blah blah blah. You can do a before and an after shot. And we took loads, and two separate occasions I was walking in this area and I took photos of the same sort of building, and it looked like a figure of a doctor, to be fair. And when we were in there, there's been other teams have been in, and there seems to be what most will agree is a doctor type person, but this person is very not a good guy. Like, and there's just this horrible feeling, and I don't know, maybe he's afraid to move on because of what he's done, or we don't know why they don't move on, but they do their best then to intimidate those who do try to communicate. And there was one time, then there's the morgue. It's not News anymore. It was near there too, and I don't know, but most teams, most people who do research always have some form of protection or spiritual protection, because if you're researching, you have to, you're working in the spirit realm, you're working with the paranormal. And this one time I didn't, right? And I thought, I just thought, I got blasé with it. I was like, it's not that I deliberately didn't. I just, I don't know why I didn't. I forgot or what, and it taught me a lesson. So whatever, I had no luck after that. I remember driving past it I drove past, I don't even know why. I think it was to maybe just take some pictures or to go over notes. And my freaking car broke down and the gearbox went to, you could say, okay, that's a coincidence, your car broke down outside the building. But, it was the start of a lot of bad things happening to me after being in that place. And it's one time that I do regret. I really was going to give it up. I thought, right, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore because, people do it and they think it's fun and they think it's for a scare and a bit of boo. This really affected me for months. I wasn't myself. I felt wrong. Things definitely happened. Bad things, and then I did sort it out. Obviously, when people, who to go to for help, and then after that, things were back on track. But it gave me, you think more than you know, but we don't. Like, that's 20 odd years of experience, and then I worry. Then it started. That's probably why I put in my book about teams and people going out now and they're able to buy equipment on eBay. They're able to just go out and mess around with communication. And it made me think, well, if this can happen to me after, researching and trying my best to be safe, what the hell are happening? What's going to happen to these guys, these girls who are out, just willy-nilly ghost hunting?
Yeah, just your random people, like, just wanting to have this experience, and they don't have, your history of knowing basically how to protect yourself. And here you had a bad experience.
I had a really, we are all learning. You see, the thing is, and, I talk about extensively, we do not know what we're dealing with. That's the bottom line. We have theories. We have, ideas, we're getting there, but we really, we have spirits that come forward and communicate that, that they say that maybe they're, this little old lady, blah, blah, blah. That could be something really, really evil that hasn't ever walked the earth masquerading as a spirit. Or we could have the other way around where you have a spirit masquerading as a demon, and people are, I see teams automatically believing what the first thing they hear that comes out of an SB7, they'll go, oh yeah, that's Uncle Joe, that's definitely Uncle. They don't. It's so scary. What we are all so open when we go into these places and start communicating that everybody's so fixated with guardian angels or positive energy or whatever surrounding us, and that's protecting us. People don't realize we also have the other side, the anti things that are just waiting for us to, for our openness to jump in and attack. And people could get attachments. I actually wanted to conduct some psychology experiments in the future because I believe a heck of a lot of paranormal investigators have attachments because they're not doing research, they're not protecting themselves, they're opening themselves up and believing the first thing they hear. And I reckon there's ways and means of finding out about attachments. I think they just lurk about and they have no concept of time. In the spirit world, time's man-made. So they will wait their time. And then people wonder, years down the line, oh, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why is my house active? And they've forgotten that maybe 10, 15 years ago they had an Ouija board party, or they, got out a bit of equipment and, did a few EVPs. It's a dangerous game that is becoming more popular due to telly, due to TV, due to, sensationalist films, and everybody kind of thinks it's cool. That there's that kind of, oh, this is really cool. We'll get a team jacket, and we'll give ourselves a really cool name, and we're going to go out there. And, that's so scary that's happening, because you don't know what you're bringing home to your house, to your family. And,
Right.
Every experienced investigator has had a bad experience, and many bad experience, and it's learning. And some walk away, and then some choose to keep going back. Because I think once you're in it, it chooses you in a way, and you're stuck. So you either use it for good and to promote, the work we're doing, or you really just get out before it becomes something really sinister in your life.
Sharon, they're very angry with me in the chat room. So I forgot their shout outs. Thanks for coming to the chat. Dr. Dave, Indy Dwayne, Mark, Sprinkles, Tiffany, Lisa M, Nicholas, Paul, Executive in Charge, Squatchy, Maggie, Renee, Ace, BN, Hank, Russell, Heidi G, Kara E, Victor and Linda, Debbie, Amanda, Wolfman, Brock, Aaron Hunter, Randy, Desi, Kevin, and assorted guests. And next week, our good friend Willie Ames joins us. And on July 1st, first time announced, fellas, Heather Wade, host of Midnight in the Desert, stops by Haunted Chronicle Studios. Holy mackerels. Thank you. Sorry, Sharon.
Wow.
You have to get our friends in the chat room. Yeah, we gotta say hi to those guys.
I gotta shout out to some of my friends then.
Shout them out.
Shout them out.
Well, okay, I'm gonna thank. In the book, there's contributions from various people. We have Jeff Ballinger, who is a fantastic guy, great author. We have Greg Lawson, who is an awesome guy. I'm trying to think who else. Christine Hayes, who is a fantastic medium and put my belief straight on a lot of things. And David Ferrant, who is a fascinating guy. You want to go check him out. He is the president of the British Psychic and Occult Society. And we have Marty Stalker, who directed Hostage to the Devil in there in the book. And these guys are like pure talent, and I really respect them. And yeah, they contributed to the book, and I was so grateful. And check it out.
Sharon, my question, I told you this before. You got to see Hostage to the Devil like in a screening, right?
Correct.
Great. And I haven't seen it yet. So tell me, how did you like it, and how did it come across? What was the reaction?
Yeah, honestly, because it follows on with I had read Father Malachi Martin's books before I knew about the film, all the political books about the Vatican and etc. And Hostage to the Devil was a book he'd written about possession. So I obviously had read it because I'm fascinated with this. And then I went to see the film, and it's a documentary. And I was like, I'm not a big fan of documentaries. But this is not like a documentary. It's like, it really watches more like a movie. You're right from the start, you're drawn in and you're captivated and you want more and you want to know what goes on. And it's quite objective. It's not like, right, this is possession and, everybody's possessed. It gives a very objective, it doesn't fall on either side. It lets you make up your own mind.
Yeah, they show both sides.
It's it's very well made, very, very well made. And I was blown away by it because there was a lot of things said in it by certain members of the clergy, especially in the Vatican, that knew Father Martin, that had stated again about the mental health and the possession aspect, things that I had believed in myself. I was like, wow, it shows the world a scientific side to the whole element of possession, and that it's not the Hollywood head spinning type of thing. It's very subtle, possession that things can get in and influence people and destroy them through different means. And, you know, it's very real. And that's the point, you know, but that's what I got from the film too, that, you know, evil exists, and whether we like it or not, the greatest, you know, I always love the expression, the greatest trick the devil ever played was pretending he didn't exist, you know, and he's called the devil. It's just evil energy, whatever cultures want to call him. You know, it's a film that shows that it can get in. And yeah, it's an amazing film. I can't wait till it's thrown out to the world.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Yeah.
And Sharon, you're going to be on. I'm helping a friend here. You're going to be on Amanda's show, Dark 30 Radio.
Yes, I am.
June 24th.
No. June
No?
24th, I am getting an operation. So,
Oh no, Amanda,
yes,
get with us, Sharon here.
selfish me, I have to have surgery. So I will be on their show hopefully pretty soon after that, because I don't plan to stay around hospital too long.
All right, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah. I'll be about.
We're down to a couple minutes left.
Oh, thanks for having me. Anyway,
Any questions, fellas? Get one more question in you? Anyone?
Well, so what was the mental hospital the most frightening experience for you, as far as, because you felt like something came home? What was your most frightening? Was it the house?
No, it was probably spirits. I'm not a big fan of electronic gadgetry, but the SB7 one time went off the rocket and started naming my children. That's the only thing they are the only things I hold dear. That's the only thing that's my life, and that terrified me. That was another time I was going to give it all up, and they said 3 of my kids' names, and I had to go to somebody else for help for that and get over it, because they you know, they target your fears. They go straight for your fears.
Mm-hmm.
That terrified me. You know, I could walk through any house, any building, but once you involve any of my family, that's me to. But now I realise that's how they use you and how they use your fear. But at the time, that was probably one of the most terrifying experiences, to hear, you know, 3 of your children's names being spoken through an electronic gadget. You know.
Yeah,
Sharon,
indeed.
You're definitely going to have to come back. We're out of time already. So good news is,
Wow.
you get to go to sleep. Bad news is, no more show. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Sharon.
Good night, Sharon. Good night, Jamie. Good night, Brock.
Good night, John Boy.